Well, a Hickman man died in a rollover crash this morning after sliding off the road. The crash happened near Highway 77 and Saltillo Road just before 6 a.m. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleiter has more details.
The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office says the victim died after being ejected from his vehicle during the rollover crash. Officials say he was not wearing a seatbelt. Chief Deputy Ben Houchin says the vehicle was coming off Highway 2 onto Highway 77 and lost control on the ice before rolling into a ditch on the east side. He says the driver was 33-year-old Dalton Voorhees of Hickman and was pronounced dead at the scene. Houchin says Voorhees had buckled the seatbelt underneath him to keep the vehicle's seatbelt alarm from going off.
We tell people all the time that those seatbelts save lives, and I can't say he would have survived it 100%, but I know his odds would have been much greater if he had been wearing it.
Several other fatal crashes have happened in recent days where victims were not wearing a seatbelt. For example, on Monday, a crash in rural Jefferson County killed a 50-year-old man from Fairbury. Authorities say the vehicle had rolled over into a ditch and he was not wearing his seatbelt. Then on Tuesday morning, 2 men were killed in a crash southeast of Kearney. Officials say the crash involved 2 vehicles and both drivers were not buckled up. John Leffler with the Nebraska Safety Council says a seatbelt saved his life several years ago when he hit a deer on his way back from Kansas City.
But I was traveling, right around 65, 70 miles an hour as I was approaching the city, and just out of nowhere, a deer jumped up and ran across the highway, and I slammed right into it. I did have my seatbelt on, and I'm convinced that's why I wasn't more severely injured or died in that crash.
Leffler said he had a minor concussion but was otherwise fine. He says it was a reminder of how seatbelts keep us safe.
Well, I think it changes your perspective when you've actually gone through an experience like that, as far as not only your own seatbelt use, but also requiring those that are in your car and making sure that they're wearing the seatbelts as well.
Leffler says it's only a secondary offense to not wear your seatbelt in Nebraska, so you have to be pulled over for something else to be ticketed. But he says wearing it can increase your chances of survival by over 40% in a crash. Officials are also reminding the public to be extra cautious on the road during these icy and cold conditions. Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew Mittleiter, Channel 8 News.